What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're doing well. I got a couple of new models from Rosecraft, and I'm very excited to check them out with you today. So let's jump into it. All right, guys. So what do we have today that we're checking out? First, we got the Rosecraft Sequatchie River Muskrat. So as you can see, the river muskrat is a two-bladed knife, but that's not all that we're checking out today from Rosecraft. We also have the French broadjack. Check that out. All right, so what are we going to be doing today? First, I'm going to go ahead and close up the second blade on the muskrat here, and we're going to do some size comparisons, profile comparisons. We'll weigh these and then we'll jump into it. All right, so first I'm going to do a couple of popular folding knives. We have the Hedgehog here from Steed, and then we have the Ankilo on the table, and you can see these are pretty good size modern traditional slip joints. Let's do two more. All right, so two of my personal modern traditional slip joints. It's going to be the the QSP Hedgehog from TPK Knives, they're exclusive, and then my personal Sequatchie. This one is my Rosecraft, and you can see these guys are more slender and longer than both on the table, but let's check out the weight of these two. All right, we have the scale here. I'm going to go ahead and close up the French and the muskrat, and we're going to start with the muskrat. This one is a two-bladed slip joint, so probably going to be a little heavier. Coming in at 3.4 ounces, so about the weight of some of your more modern folding pocket knives. And let's check out the French. Coming in at 2.3 ounces, so pretty lightweight for the both of them. Let me clear the scale out of here and we'll jump into it. All right, and the reason I decided to do the two of these together is because of the fact that they're both very similar with their ergos. The only real difference that I find here with the actual muskrat is that when you're actually cutting with it, the closed blade here is a little bit of a hot spot for me. The blade was plenty slicey. It had good geometry. The D2, as I have found with a lot of the Rosecrafts, comes very toothy. So when you try to show its slicing capability, it doesn't go through the catalog paper as smoothly as it does after you strop it. But all in all, very comfortable, about what I would expect from a slip joint. And I do like the fact both blade shapes are the same, but I think this one works at a lower angle. I mean, it is well below the pivot where that goes to. So if you're trying to do detailed work, any tabletop cutting, even if you're trying to get into packages, this is going to be a little bit of an easier blade. And then you can go ahead and pull out the other one. This is definitely not broken in. Hopefully by the time it gets done with the pass around, it will be. But you can pull this out to do a little bit more heavy tasks, break a box down, pull at a strap, which I would probably say the other blade shape would actually do better on that. And it's still going to do plenty good for any type of tabletop cutting. It's going to get you close, not a ton of belly out on the tip, but it'll do a good enough job if you're trying to push down into it and then dragging across whatever it is that you're cutting. It'll definitely get the job done. Beautiful black micarta scales that have been polished here. This is the first time I've seen a little bit of a blemish from them. It looks like it was a little over polished right here, and you don't see the grains right here underneath of the spade. So that's the first time I personally have seen a little bit of a defect coming out of Rosecraft. They've been pretty darn consistent with their quality. I mean, it is seamless. You're talking like very high level build quality, very seamless back spring. You have very almost seamless where it connects here into the back spring in the open position. But if I'm honest, out of these two, my favorite is going to be the French. I like the blade shape on the French. It is more of a utility blade, which is what I really look for in my personal knives. I also like the fact that it's more comfortable and more contoured in hand for me. I can actually get 3.5, 3 3/4 fingers on here very easily. And then my thumb lands mostly on that back spring for any type of push cutting. It's going to be very nice in the pinch grip. This is an all-day pinch gripper. This one's going to be something that you can do a ton of tasks back to back to back. You know, if you're tracing or cutting or doing detailed work. And the D2, just like on the Muskrat, came a little bit toothy. I was able to strop it a little bit to get it smooth, but it was going through the materials very nicely. It destroyed the cardboard, very slicey geometry. And again, after I stropped it up, after doing all of that cutting, you know, that little sample the size that was, I was able to strop it pretty easily. I actually think both of these, I just decided to do like a quick light hone, 2 on each side, and then I went ahead and did a strop and just tested it until it was pretty smooth and then stopped there. That way it's in good condition for the next reviewer. Same thing that you see here from most of the Rosecrafts that I've experienced. Very smooth transitions, beautiful wood inlays, nicely finished. And this one here, almost completely seamless where it connects to the back spring. This is really impressive for stuff that's coming in between 50 and 60 bucks. You can see they widened it up here, even though it is thin out in the back. So it does work very nice, again, for light duty tasks, utility cutting, you know, stuff like that. This is going to be really nice. Also, if you're pulling through anything, you know, maybe you're pulling through an apple or something like that, it does contour nicely into the knuckles. So I like that a lot about this one. This one is a little bit more broken in, so I'm thinking Kevin probably messed with this one a little bit more than the Muskrat, especially because it's such a heavy pull to open. I would say this is easier because you got more blade here, which it does have. Both have very nice finishes. This one here looks more machine satin than the other one does, and I think it looks a little bit better to me personally. But this one, again, broken in. I'd say walk and talk. Let's give it a listen. I would give it a 4 on the walk and talk, and pull. Definitely lighter here. This is like a 5. And then that's like a 7 or a 7.5 on that second pull. And it could be because the size, right? It's a more slender knife. So it may impact how much backspring they'd have. Now, this one here, it is a bear to pull out. I'm almost scared it's going to pull my nail back as I try to open it. That is like a 10 and a 8. So the first pull is the hardest to get out, and I really just have a hard time grabbing it. This one I would say is like a 8.5 and like a 6. This one's really sloppy on the second, or really broken in on the second pull. But that's one of the things I don't like about double blades. They're very hard for me with large hands. Not a lot of nails. I keep my nails kind of short. To kind of get into that nail nick to pull open. Now, I say that saying that we are early. Whew, it feels like it's pulling the nail back, man. I'm not even trying to be dramatic. It is very difficult to open this one. You know, and maybe with some more open and closing, it would be easier to do that one. But man, it really pulls at the nail. Like, I'm like, man, is it about to lift my nail off? Overall, I like it. You know, this is not my style, but it is well done. That's the first time I've seen a blemish on a Rosecraft. It just looks like it got over polished there somehow, some way. I would say a little bit of a, I don't know what you could do to fix this. Somebody in the comments, what you could do to get this out a little bit easier. I think that, yeah, that's the one that's angled down more. So that one's easier to get to. Maybe you got to pull that. Yeah, that makes a difference. Maybe pulling the lighter one out first. Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. I don't carry a lot of double-bladed slip joints, so it could be me. But that made a huge difference. So this one, because it's easier to open, and it's still strong, that's an easy 7.5. And then coming over here and being able to use the index finger to kind of squeeze and use the strength in my finger to pull that out, I'm able to get that one out that way a little bit easier. But the French for me all day, like this one, easy open close. I could see this one breaking in and getting a little bit better snap action. Like, to me, it's a little stiff right there. It doesn't spring a lot, and I think it would probably break in better in the long term. And one of the members of my one of my subscribers said actually trying to take a little bit of heat to this will help like break it in. I don't know if it's like causing it to swell and push out a little bit and shrink. Heat usually causes swelling, I think. But really cool models from Rosecraft. I was grateful to be able to check these two out. I'm shaking the table, so they're shaking a bunch. And let me open these as we wrap up. Thanks for tuning in today, guys. I know this is not everybody's bag, so it really means a lot to me that you guys, that way you can see both blades, that you guys hung out with me to this point. On your way out, if you could leave a like, comment down below, let me know what you think about these, or if you have a Rosecraft that is your favorite or that you'd like to check out. And if not, and then slip joints are not your thing, just let me know what you're carrying in your pockets. I love to hear that stuff too. I hope all of you have a fantastic week. I love you guys. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.